Yeah, here we go again. We're live. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Happy Wednesday. You know how we do it on a Wednesday. This is the best day of the week, man, and it's always such a pleasure to be able to hang out with you. Now, you may notice over the last few weeks, I've been, starting our little chat with a song, but I've discovered that neither Facebook nor Instagram like that practice very much, right? In fact, the last video I did, they muted the entire thing. So, if you're on Facebook, certainly you would not have been able to hear a thing that I said. You just saw me, doing doing silent night, as it were. So I'm not going to start this morning playing a song. I have an idea for a song and I'm going to read the lyrics. Now, the operative word here obviously is read, right? Because if I start to sing, man, yeah, it's not going to be good. It's not going to be good. So here we go. It's a song by Tim McGraw, country singer, entitled Always Be Humble and Kind. So, ready? Here we go. Know there's a light that blows by the front door. Don't forget the keys under the mat. Childhood starts shine. Always stay humble and kind. Go to church because your mama said so. Visit grandpa every chance that you can. It won't be wasted time. Always be humble and kind. Hold the door. Say please, say thank you. Don't steal, don't cheat, don't lie. I know you've got mountain to climb, but always stay humble and kind. When your dreaming come to you, when the work you put in is realized, yes, let yourself feel the pride, but always stay humble and kind. Don't expect a free ride from no one. Don't hold a grudge or a chip, and here's why. Bitterness keeps you from flying, so always stay humble and kind. As you know, last week we spent some time talking about how being humble, how humility can get you through crisis, and I thought that was, an appropriate subject given the times that we're living in. All of us are obviously collectively dealing with um, the coronavirus pandemic and everything that's attendant to that. And I know that many of you are dealing with your respective crises, whether it's, again, a health crisis, a relationship crisis, and so on. So I share some thoughts on that. But I figured, we'd kind of continue on that subject, the subject of humility. So this morning, I want to speak to you about what makes someone humble. I know I'm speaking to my friends over there in LinkedIn and on Facebook, and of course, Instagram and YouTube. So, hey, feel free, guys, to chime in, ask questions, make comments. Yeah, let's have an engagement here. Let's have a conversation. So, what makes someone humble? What is the key, or what are the key psychological ingredients to that make someone humble? I think all of us have an idea of what a humble person is. And surely, definitely there have been research into humility, and that research has suggests that humble people have an accurate view of themselves, right? They acknowledge their mistakes, they acknowledge their limitations. They are definitely open to other viewpoints. They don't see themselves as know-it-all, as it were. And they keep their accomplishments and their abilities into perspective, right? They, as I spoke about last week, they have a low self-focus. It's right. It's not that they have low self-esteem. They just choose to think about others more so than they think about themselves, right? And they have an appreciation for the value of everything else, to include and especially other people. So you might say, well, that's that offers a really good description of the characteristic of a humble person, but that doesn't really identify the psychological construct that's at the core of humility. When you take, for example, the idea that humble people have an accurate view of themselves, right? Well, one of the things that we know is that all of us, our views of ourselves are a little bit off, to say the least. All right. So we would see our weaknesses and our bad traits as not as bad as it probably is. And we have an exaggerated view of our good qualities and our abilities. And so if you take two persons who have, let's say, an accurate self-view, right? And then their accomplishments, their great qualities, all of that doesn't differ. It's like, for some incredible reason, everything lines up. Their self-view is accurate, their accomplishment is on par with one another. Well, what you'll find is that the person, the guy or the girl with what I'm gonna call low humility, somebody whose ego is a little bit bigger than everybody else's, they're going to revel in their achievements, man. They're going to expect to be glorified and to be treated extra special because of all of these amazing things that they have done and are doing and how people see them, which is very different from how the person with high humility, the humble person, would see themselves, right? They would not necessarily be, and don't get me wrong, it's not that humble people aren't interested in being recognized and getting attention. We all want to be recognized. We all want, we all like the attention, man. But it's not first and foremost in the mind of someone who is humble, right? Versus an arrogant person. So, that's the characteristic. The question is, what would then be the one thing that we'd want to know about a humble person, psychologically speaking, that would tell us that he or she is responding in a humble fashion in a particular situation, or that he or she is humble, generally speaking? Well, the thinking, because there are greater minds than I, and they have kind of studied this thing, that sort of thinking, the hypothesis. And if you agree with that, please, chime in, let me know. The thinking is that humility is characterized by the belief that no matter how great your accomplishments are, no matter how amazing you think you are or other people think you are, those accomplishments, those characteristics do not entitle you to any special treatment as a person. So, for example, you may have a renowned actor or this exceptional athlete, famous writer, you name it, right? And they're incredibly successful in their field, in their career, right? And they've received many awards because they're that good. Adored by millions of fans and make tons and tons of money. And the thinking is that a humble person would not feel that because of all of the accolades, they should be treated specially as a person. Now, I think I should pause on the phrase "as a person" for a minute, because that's really important here. We know that there are people, and I just described some of them, who are incredibly exceptional in their chosen field, right? And for those accomplishments, they absolutely deserve recognition. They deserve praise. They deserve prestige and status and awards and so on, right? So the best athletes, for example, right now we're playing the NBA finals. The best athlete should be on the court. He shouldn't be riding the bench, right, Sid? Thank you for joining us. You shouldn't be riding the bench, right? The best actor should be getting the best parts in the play or the movie, right? the best authors should be getting the best book deals and so on and so forth. That they are entitled to that kind of recognition. The best employees are entitled to the promotion and so on and so forth, right? That is the norm in which we operate in society. I would argue that that has absolutely nothing to do with whether or not one is humble, right? You get, some of us get the corner office or a special parking spot, because of your job title, or maybe you're the employee of the week, employee of the month. And quite frankly, humble people want to be recognized. They want to be rewarded for their hard work as well. All right. So that is a norm. The challenge comes when, yeah, because I'm a three-time Olympian and I don't know, I turn up at the restaurant, I think that I should be seated ahead of everybody else who was there, all right? Because you're a superstar actor and you are speeding down the highway and the cop pulls you over. The cop, first of all, shouldn't even have the temerity to pull you over, right? And we see those kinds of things playing out all the time in society where somebody who has really low humility, in other words, they're full of themselves and they are challenged, and their response is, "Do you know who I am? Huh? Do you know who I am?" That is not the picture of somebody who's humble. The contrast of that is that the humble person does not necessarily expect it to be treated especially as a person, so to speak, because of their accomplishment, right? It's not that, it's, again, as I said last week, humility is not about weakness. So it's not that they don't believe in themselves, not that they don't think that they should be recognized or acknowledged for their characteristics. They just think that they need to, keep doing what they're doing and keep it moving, as it were. So I was in my reading, I came across 5 characteristics that I want to share with you. 5 characteristics that describe what a humble person is, and 5 characteristics that I would encourage you, if you really believe that you should always be humble and kind, as I do. I encourage you to pay attention to them and look at how you can embrace them in your life, right? So the first thing about humble people is that they don't feel the need to boast, right? They are very confident in themselves. They're very confident in their abilities, and they feel great about their accomplishments, but it's not something that they feel that they need to, blow the horn about, right? They feel assured in their own path and their achievements, and they can just go ahead and work hard at being the best they can be, hoping that in the process they'll be able to inspire somebody else to do the same. Because I know that for the most part, most of us would be inspired by somebody who's working hard and is relatable, is magnanimous, as opposed to somebody who goes around blowing their horn all the time. So yeah, they don't feel the need to boast. Number 2, they put others before themselves. So if you're a humble person, you're going to put others before yourself, right? You're going to think about, as I said last week, a humble person think less of themselves, as in not from a self-esteem point of view. I need to really hammer that home. They spend more time focusing on others and their needs and how they can help other people. So they're thinking about what others want and how they can make a difference in the lives of the people around them. So that's number 2. Number 3, following on this, is that they really enjoy putting a smile on people's faces, right? They really enjoy making other people happy, again, because they're thinking more about others than themselves. They know they can take care of themselves. As far as they're concerned, they know they got this. They know how to work hard. They are disciplined. They are focused. They have goals. They have audacious bold visions that they work hard to accomplish every single day. But in the process, man, they're like, how can I bring somebody else along with me, right? How can I contribute to the greater good, right? The song says, if I can help somebody as I travel along, then my living shall not be in vain, right? So that's kind of the mantra, the thinking, the philosophy of someone who is humble. Number four, they enjoy making other people happy, which again builds. And number four is that they don't believe that life owes them anything, because the truth is that life doesn't owe any of us anything. In fact, if anything, we owe life for the privilege of being here. So they don't believe that life owes them anything. They instead recognize that, man, there is this great opportunity that I have to absolutely do my best with what I have, right? All of us are given a different hand to play, and different hand to play in life. And all you can do is play that hand. So you do the best with what you have, and you don't walk around complaining about all the things that you don't have, and all the breaks that you didn't get, and all the advantages that you didn't start with, right? And then they see everyone as equal. They absolutely see everybody as equal. To go back to what we were saying earlier, right? They don't think that they need to be treated specially simply because of their accomplishments, right? They are, just another man, just another woman with these incredible accomplishments. And their life, I think, shows it in terms of the things I just spoke about, the fact that they enjoy putting a smile on the faces of others, not just in terms of, let's say, they're an entertainer, but in how they interact with others, right? They want to do things for the greater good as well, make people happy. So that's why they don't see themselves as above others. They see themselves as equal. So as you look around, as all of us look around, I think we can find tons of examples of people who are incredibly accomplished, and I think we could describe them as humble. Mother Teresa, right? Revered the world over. Nelson Mandela, the Dalai Lama, the Pope, George Washington Carver. There are so many others that are out there. Warren Buffett even comes to mind as one of the richest men in the world, who's just, as humble as can be. I just think it behooves us, maybe because that's my nature, to want to help, to want to touch lives, and to want to not elevate myself as a person above someone else just because I have certain accomplishments, but rather to use those accomplishments to inspire others to go pursue their own dreams. And so that's my encouragement. That's my challenge to you. That really is a challenge that Tim McGraw has laid out, and the exhortation that he has laid out in the song here, always be humble and kind. Wish I could have played it for you. Definitely didn't want to sing it because I would have spoiled the morning. But hey, if any of you know of a way to work around this objection by Facebook and Instagram of me playing these songs at the start, I'd love to be able to play them for you. But if you know of a way to work around it, please let me know. If not, hey, we keep on pushing. That's all we can do. If you enjoy this, if you find it valuable, please leave a comment, share it with your friends, hit the subscribe button, and follow me throughout social media at Keep On Pushing 88. And as we look forward to the rest of the week, man, finishing the week strong and connecting next week, I want to challenge you, encourage you, as I always do, to keep on pushing. But even as you do that, to always stay humble and kind. Always stay humble and kind.